Sofia wrote, "I'm grateful for my job," in a journal for 90 days straight. And on day 91, she still got in trouble at work. A formal warning in my file. That's the ending. Now let me show you what actually happened in between, because it's not what you think. Sofia Reyes, 29, ER nurse in Phoenix. 12-hour shifts. A fiancé, Daniel, who felt more like a roommate than a partner. A mom in Tucson who called every Sunday just to ask why Sofia sounded so tired all the time. Her therapist gave her one instruction: write 3 things you're grateful for, every night, no matter what. Sofia had seen this advice in 11 different Instagram carousels. She almost laughed. Have you ever started a gratitude journal and quit by day 4? Comment day 4 right now, because Sofia quit on day 4 too. Twice. Week 1. Grateful for coffee. Grateful for parking. Nothing changed. She almost stopped for good. But the night she planned to quit the journal, she got a call. Not from Daniel, from her mom's doctor. Her mother had been hiding something for 6 months. Gratitude only rewires the brain's reward pathways after weeks of repetition, not days. That's the real reason day 4 always feels pointless. Week 6. Sofia found out her mom had been quietly going through chemo, alone, because she didn't want to be a burden. Sofia sat in a hospital parking lot, furious. Furious her mom hid it. Furious at herself for not noticing. Out of habit, she opened the journal anyway. She wrote, "Grateful my mom is strong enough to survive this without telling me," and terrified that's exactly the problem. Here's what nobody tells you about gratitude. It doesn't make problems disappear. It drags them into the light, whether you're ready or not. Week 8. Daniel forgot their anniversary. Not the date, the meaning of it. He just didn't think of her that day. Sofia almost wrote it off, like always. But the journal had changed how she noticed things now. She wrote, "Grateful Daniel still shows up, even when he's forgotten how to really see me." That sentence is what did it. She finally understood. She and Daniel hadn't had one honest conversation in over a year. They'd been performing fine at each other, the same way she'd been performing fine for her mom, for her coworkers, for herself. Gratitude hadn't fixed her relationship. It had shown her the relationship needed her to actually show up in it, honestly, for the first time in months. That's why the hard conversation with Daniel had to happen, not because things were bad, but because they'd both stopped being real with each other. Week 11. A patient's family screamed at Sofia over a 2-hour ER wait. She snapped back. Her supervisor pulled her aside and put a formal warning in her file, right there on the spot. What she found out an hour later, the patient they were yelling about had just died. They weren't angry at Sofia. They were drowning in grief with nowhere to put it. That night she almost skipped the journal out of shame. Instead, she forced herself. Grateful I still care enough to break, because the version of me that stops breaking is the version that stopped caring. For the first time in months, she actually cried. Not from exhaustion, from recognition. Because here's the thing gratitude never tells you up front. It doesn't magically hand you a better life. It doesn't erase a bad shift or fix a broken relationship overnight. What it does is quieter than that. It changes what you're able to see first. It changes you on the inside. And only after that internal shift are you actually capable of creating the magic on the outside. So, does gratitude always work? No, not the way it's sold to us. But it did something better than magic. It gave Sofia the clarity to finally sit Daniel down and say the hard, honest thing. I don't want a roommate. I want you back. That conversation, the one she'd been avoiding for a year, only became possible because gratitude had shown her exactly what was missing. Small, real, hers. And everything that came after, the closer relationship, the honest calls with her mom, the peace at work, that's the external magic that only showed up after the internal work was done. Tonight, don't write grateful for coffee. Write the sentence that scares you a little, the one that's actually true. Tell me below, what's one thing you're grateful for, even though it's hard to say out loud? And if this hits you, send it to the one person you've been meaning to have an honest conversation with. Do it tonight, not tomorrow.